Every Nintendo handheld has always had a smaller and cheaper alternative, and it's finally time for the Nintendo Switch to have its own. The Nintendo Switch Lite is that console. It is a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter than the regular Switch, but it has some differences, so let's find out what they are. In the Spec world of things, the Switch and the Lite are both basically the same, which is pretty obvious because they both have to run the same games. But there is a difference with the screen size. The Switch has a 6.2-inch display while the Lite has a 5.5-inch display. Both have the same resolution of 720p. In terms of battery size, the Lite has a 3,570 mAh battery while the Switch has a 4,310 mAh battery. As for battery life, the Switch can run for 4.5 to 9 hours while the Switch Lite can run from 3 to 7 hours. The biggest difference you can tell off the bat about the Lite is that it doesn't have Joy-Cons. It also lacks HD rumble and the IR motion camera. Now this is something to keep in mind for some games, but it won't affect every game, as most of them can be played in handheld. The Lite also has a D-pad instead of having the 4 circles that represent a D-pad on the regular Switch. Another thing missing from the Lite is an auto brightness adjuster, which isn't really a big loss for most people, but that is something also to keep in mind. The Lite also lacks a kickstand as well as a dock, which means that you won't be able to play on the TV. So the biggest question remains, who is the regular Switch for and who is the Switch Lite for? I believe that the Switch Lite is more for people who are going to be on the go and traveling. Because of its size, it's also a great device for kids, as well as for people who financially may not be doing well and may want to use that $100 towards a game. The regular Switch, on the other hand, is perfect for people who have time to sit on the couch and just play, or for those who just want the best of both worlds. The Switch Lite, it's something that Nintendo wants to focus more on being a portable device than being a hybrid. Now personally, I believe that if you're someone who does have time on their hands to sit on the couch and play, if you're financially good, then you should get a Switch, or if you already have one, then you should stick with it. I don't really see the point in getting a Switch Lite unless you're a collector, or if you're someone who prefers being in handheld mode. In that case, if I had to go to somewhere like Disney World for a day, I probably would bring the Switch Lite. I mean, I could put it in my pocket and yeah, that's about it. With the Switch, you clearly can't put in your pocket if you've seen one or if you own one, so then I have to bring a bag with me or a carrying case or whatever. So that's one of the convenient things of really having a smaller Switch. Now, also if you get the Lite, you are going to be losing out on the opportunity to play certain games. The games though are not really game breakers. It's things like Just Dance, Nintendo Labo, but you will be missing out on certain gestures that you could do with the Joy-Cons in certain games, and the different abilities to play. On an airplane, instead of just being able to hold your Joy-Cons and let the Switch just stand on a table, you're gonna have to hold it the whole time. So you'd really be missing out on the convenience. And once again, it wouldn't be a local multiplayer device. Now, some of you may be saying that a reasonable solution to all of this is just to buy accessories for the Lite. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be a case with a kickstand, and you can connect Joy-Cons or a Pro Controller, but all of those prices add up, and it once again begs the question of, at that point, should you just get a Switch? But if those things don't bother you, then this would be the perfect product. So in conclusion, the Lite is not a party host. It is a guest. It may not have Joy-Cons or a dock, but it has the exact same great selection of games. When you compare it to Nintendo's older devices that are not hybrids either, it looks incredible. But there's still a sense of missing out on something for that extra $100. So yeah, that's all I have to say for the Switch being compared to the Lite. But what if you're comparing it to the 3DS? Well, stick around and we'll find out in part 2.